this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demo here in the UK. I hope you like my projects. If you haven't joined me before and you like what you see today, please press subscribe below. I'd love to have you joining me for more of my videos. Today it's a little bit of a different video from me. I'm just going to show you the best way to use this stamp. This is called the Flowers and, not stamp, punch. This is the Flower and Leaves punch from the annual catalogue, and it coordinates with this stamp set, the Flowers of Friendship. Love it. This is the first set that I bought from the annual catalogue. I think it's really lovely. And the punch has 4 images on it that cut out this big flower, this smaller flower, and the 2 leaves. Now the problem is that when you try and cut, I'm just going to try and find a little bit of paper. When you try and cut anything from this with this punch, it's very difficult to punch anything without getting something else caught. So for example, let me find a wide piece of card. So if I want to stamp and punch this, for example, imagine I've stamped on there, put that in there. I can't punch that out without punching out part of these leaves. It's very difficult to do that. So I'm going to ruin part of my card, going to use more of my card than I need to. If I want to cut this one out at the bottom, again, I'm going to punch out those 2. If I want to punch out the leaves, again, I'm going to use. So what we need to do is we'll find a way to punch all these shapes out so they're all punching together and you're not wasting too much card. So here I have lined up all the images so that when I go punch them, they're all lined up. I've coloured them before I'm punching, which is much easier than after, and then I can just, and there we have all those punched elements. No wasted cardstock, because all the bits that we wanted are punched out, and we've got all the elements much quicker. Does take a little bit of time to line up your images, but I'm just going to show you today how to do that. So what you need to do is take a piece of cardstock. This is perfect size. Put it in the punch. So I've already punched this, you can see, but I'm just going to put it back and place it in the punch. Try and line that up. So there, that's where I punched, and then punch so that you get this. Important step is you then need to turn this over. Take your stamp, your block, so this is a D block, and starting with the biggest image, place that on your block. Now you're going to use this as your template, so your biggest stamp is there, so that's going to go there. And now what we can do, so we'll take the smallest leaf, so you're holding it in place with this hand, and you're going to place that. Now I haven't put the stickers on the back of my stamps, I've just got this. So this clings absolutely perfectly without them. I'm not sure if this might be a bit more tricky if you've got the stickers on, because they may cling before you get to the position that you want them in. So I've got 2 lined up. I'm then lining this one up. So now I've got 3 of my images lined up. So it is, like I said, it's a little bit tricky to do this, but it's so worth it to get your stamps lined up. And I think once I've got them lined up here, I'm just going to keep this D block with them lined up so I don't ever have to take them off again. There we go. So I've got my images. Now some of them are a bit of a close fit because the red rubber overlaps, but it should be okay. So what we can do now is stamp our images on our piece of cardstock. I'm going to do it there. So if I take my Memento ink, make sure you've, doesn't look like that's quite caught, so we just stamp a bit more. Make sure we've got ink over absolutely every little bit, and then stamp. So just get that in there. Now, as I said, it's much easier to colour these whilst they're on the before you punch them out. So I'm going to do a yellow flower this time. So I'm going to start with light daffodil yellow. Because I've used Memento, this should not bleed. So just going over all of the big flower with Daffodil Delight and the smaller flower. Doing this quite quickly. You of course can take a little bit more time, be a bit more careful, a bit more precise if you use the bullet tip rather than the wide tip. Right, and then I'm going to take the dark Daffodil Delight, and I am going to use the bullet tip of this one, partly because I want to add fine details, and partly because I ruined the tip of my blend by using it to colour some glimmer paper, and it's completely shredded. So my tip is don't do that. Eventually, when I have enough money in the pot, I will replace my daffodil yellow markers, blends, pens. Right, and then I'm just going to do this little infill a bit darker here, like so. And then I'm going to take Granny Apple Green, I think, one of my favourite greens. I'm going to start with the light blend. Like so. And on this one, I'm going to come in with the darker one and do the veins of the leaves, and then go over it again with the light one to blend it all together. So using the bullet point this time, just do some dark veins in there. Like so, and then to blend it all together, just come back in with your light. You get a nicely shaded leaf. And then just in the middle there, I'm going to take dark Mango Melody and colour in the middle. So the centre's just going to be slightly darker, orangier than the flowers, like that. And then, because I've lined all my images up really carefully, I can go here. And if you're doing a card that needs a lot of these images, this is so much quicker. So you just need to move it around until you're sure you've got everything really lined up. Just takes a second. And there are all my elements. So just a little tip on how to use that punch. I'm going to be coming back in a couple of days with a couple more projects using this set, but I just wanted to show you. So it's really how you line up the stamps on the block. So punch out the where's my piece of, can't find the piece that I had originally now. Oh, there we go. So you punch this out and it will be this way round after you punched it out, but then turn it over so that you place the stamps through this direction. That's the key bit, is turning it over. So make sure you mark one of the sides so that you know what you're doing. But that's it from me today. Very quick little video. Hope you find that helpful. And like I said, I'll be back showing you lots of projects using these images later in the week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.